past we've used different types of systems for teacher appraisal. Initially we used a paper-based system which was frankly chaotic. Bits of paper everywhere, deciphering people's handwritten scribbles, then having to type it up into something that's worth reading. People losing evidence, people losing lesson observations and book scrutinies, people not knowing when they were to do them and when they should be doing them. And so we looked at investing in an online tracker system for appraisal. The first system we used was too complicated for teachers to use. It was obviously designed by an ICT buff, and some of the language was very inaccessible to teachers. We used that for a year and we battled with it, and then we were introduced to Standard Tracker via another school. The whole system has online training videos, and so you're taken through the online training with a phone conversation, and you are guided through it, and they do work remotely for you as well, so that while you're learning to use it, there's always some quality support at the end of a phone, and that for me is a big selling point for the system, because teachers are very, very busy and head teachers are equally busy. We haven't time to be emailing and getting messages later. We need an answer there and then, and that's what Standard Tracker provide as their backup service. We use it for lesson observations, we use it for book scrutinies, we use it for checking teachers against the teaching standards. So there's a dialogue with each individual teacher about where they see they fit on the teaching standards. They assess themselves against the teaching standards, then we have a meeting with them after we've assessed them, and then we come to some sort of agreement. So when the teachers have judged where they sit on the teaching standards, there is an opportunity for them to then upload evidence in a simple way to back up their request, maybe for a judgment to be moved from requires improvement to good, or from good to outstanding. Head teachers always need to know where the good teachers are, where the teachers are that need support or improvement, and they need to know where teachers can help each other. Having the ability to go into the computer and look at any one time at any one member of staff to see where they sit on the teaching standards, what their lesson observations is saying about them, and how they are developing is incredible. Head teachers are really accountable to governors and to Ofsted, and so one of the key features of this system is that you can access at any one time a profile of your staff, where they sit within the standards, where they sit from a point of view of overall quality of teaching. And so we're able to produce very colourful reports for governors and for Ofsted should we need it, which shows the progress that teachers have made since September and the progress of the teaching profile. So in September you might have had 20% of your teachers were RI, and by the end of the year only 5% are RI, or in fact 30% were good and now 50% are outstanding. Now that says everything. It's evidence-based and you can present it to governors. It helps with my performance management to show that I'm being a leader that's having an impact on the school and shows that the school's continually moving forward. We recently had an inspection last November, and it was a one-day inspection, and I was very, very keen to show the inspector how we manage our appraisal. But he was very, very quickly convinced that we knew exactly what we were doing and that appraisal was a driving force in our school to improving standards. At the end of each academic year, we view our SATs results and all the data that we have. In the past, we did it all on paper. So producing a report for governors would take me hours, counting up every lesson observation and looking at all the paper and doing a paper exercise that analysed everything. The computer analyses everything. It analyses all our book scrutinies, and it also points out the areas that aren't going well. So we use the tool on Standard Tracker to look at the areas that overall in school are not as good as others. When we look at the standards overall in school, we look at the one that is less good. So for example, if 10% of our teachers are not providing challenging enough activities for the children, then that became our priority for our school development plan. We then tailor-made all our lesson observations and work scrutiny observation forms to cater for that focus. So consequently this year we focused and drilled down very much on the teaching for the more able children, and that we feel has a huge impact on our school and has improved the education for those children. Standard Tracker have introduced a new tool where you can pair up teachers for coaching pairs. So for example, if you've got 2 or 3 teachers who are outstanding at using data to drive learning, then you've teachers that are not so hot on that, then you can pair them up and the system shows their names side by side. So you can then provide coaching time and coaching pairs for those teachers to work alongside each other to improve that skill. And that's far more powerful than a head teacher going in and telling a teacher you need to get better at this, because the teachers feel very much in it together. A teacher new to year 1 has recently paired up with an experienced literacy coordinator in year 1, and she's helped him develop his phonics. She's pointed him in the right direction for courses and material, and she's also observed him teaching phonics and given him key pointers, which has enabled him to then judge himself differently against that standard and raise that standard from requires improvement to good. Standard Tracker is fantastic value for money. When you're looking at a huge staff, when you break the price down, your staff have got to be worth it, particularly if it gives them ownership of their own CPD.